be louder. Okay. Is it audible? Okay, thank you. Okay, I am Madhav, certificate Six Sigma Black Belt from ASQ. So I had across around 78 functions or industries varying from hardcore manufacturing, service sectors like logistics, BPO, all those things. We have applied many lean projects. I work with respect to around 50 to 60 value stream projects varying and spread across industries in manufacturing and service sectors. I would be I would be able to answer most of your questions with respect to this chapter. So this chapter, let me begin with this chapter. So this chapter, what we say is about history and evolution of the lean. So this webinar is not about any classroom or any other course. It is just about if you want to clarify any questions pertaining to this chapter, any clarifications or any information which you feel is not sufficiently provided in this material, I would be able to help you with that one. So let me take some 5 minutes about history and evolution, and they would like to hand it out to participants who can raise their hands. If you want to post questions, they'll be online, or you can use the chat. So I'll try to cover most of the questions which you want to be addressed. So let me get you familiarized with the content here. So there is each of the materials and stuff in CLE has been categorized under these various headings like application, which talks about how this particular chapter or the concepts need to be applied, where it is applied, and then the conceptual understanding so that it helps us to better apply for our respective solutions, and the quiz, solve the puzzles, and further readings and case studies. Some of the case studies we tried to give for manufacturing as well as service sector. Here is where we would like to customize things for you. If you have any queries, how this is applicable to my segment industry, please post your questions. So this chapter of history and evolution has been divided into various segments like evaluation of lean, lean leadership, lean behaviors, and with respect to project selections, how to select the right projects, and briefly about lean application of areas. And the in-depth content, you can see lean evaluation and the deployment plot of lean. Here we don't just talk about the lean, it's about lean Six Sigma as a combined approach. Use lean where required, we want time, speed, all those things. And we want to reduce variations. This is the thumb rule. We reduce variation, use Six Sigma concepts, but it varies case to case. So and then pillars of the lean, which is based upon the Toyota production system, and then the production selection method and how to Shingo prices, Shingo prices, Shingo principles. What are the basics of Shingo principles? And now it has been the rule, or many companies are going for Shingo certification, award, recognitions, Shingo prize, and then the key lean behaviors. We talk about the lean behaviors and the lean behavior that is typically formulated in Toyota, that is the lean attitudes and various applications of lean and some of the reference to its areas and reference quiz and summary. This is the typical lean evaluation graph that is found across and many people. know about it or familiar about it. So if you have any specific questions, to better understand regarding this, like how it is evaluated in the period of around 100 years, last 100 years, 150 years, like the evaluation of interchangeable parts, and then in the flow, it has evolved. People have evolved standard work, assembly lines, SPC, TQM, TPM. But one interesting thing what we could see in this material is, in this flow is, starting with the interchangeable parts, there is a sequence of other improvements or methodologies have been developed, which is interrelated to other. So once for example, if I take the Frank Gilbert process charts and motion study, he has come up with motion study once the time study has been initiated by Frederick Taylor. When you want to further improve the time, reduce the stress level of people, then he brought in the concepts of Therblix, which was developed by Gilbert. And then in order to develop an efficient lines, then the Ford assembly line concepts evolved. And then in order to further revive our process, make it more stable, predictable, these concepts of SPC, TQM, and then the evolution of TPM, just-in-time process. If you could see the sequence in which is mentioned are interrelated or more or less in the sequence. It could not have been, it would have been very difficult to conceive TQM in something around 1850. So it has taken an evolution of time around 150 years. And then the official coining of the word of lean manufacturing was done something around 2000. Similarly, and this is the deployment path, how the deployment to achieve the perfect process and delivery and value to the customer through this path. We say that so 5 years autonomous maintenance is the basis of this process, and you can go to the visual factory, continuous improvement culture, and then you achieve the just-in-time process like better flow and pull, eliminate waste, reduce variations on a continuous basis to make your process and delivery to the customer the perfect one. This is a quick guide how the deployment path, what sort of projects need to be selected, either it's Lean or Six Sigma. And other references like this. This is the famous TPS house or Lean house based upon how the value to the customer is delivered and what are the fundamentals is in delivering the values, like respect to the people and continuous improvement. And these 14 principles, it has been derived from the Toyota Way book, in which Jeffrey Liker has compiled based upon his research in discussion with many of the Toyota employees. And this is a guide for how the projects should be selected. All the lean projects or Six Sigma projects should address the voice of the customer. And then Shingo principles, it talks about the guiding principles and supporting principles. Some of the principles of Shingo is also, you can relate it to the lean principles also. You can the 14 principles of lean, all those things overlap here and there, but it has been structured in a better way so that the company can easily follow it and adopt it. And then these are the lean behaviors of Shingo assessment scale. Who is the best leader in the scale of 5? The 5 says that he is the best who qualifies as the best behavior leader. Focus on ensuring lean principles are driven deeply into the culture and regularly assessed by improvement. And similarly for managers or associates. So if the person who is at level 1 would like or would tend to improve from 1 to 3, but keeping this as a guideline, and from 3 to 5. By the time you achieve the level 5, you could relate it to the deployment path here. You would be at at the stage of perfection. I'm just going back and forth so that I can relate. It is an evaluation process of deployment as well as the lean behaviors. The lean behaviors complement or it gives an eye to see the ways in your process. Not only your process should be lean, it should your behavior should also be lean. What classifies a lean behavior has been extensively discussed in the next slides. Understanding these bad behaviors and lean behaviors is one of the most vital things for any successful lean deployment. This is based upon your research that has been compliant. You can see the value contribution as a waste can be related to the behavior, fat behaviors of 71% to 72% of waste. And what classifies as lean behavior and fat behavior. It's a thing that need to be read in depth, understand and reflect. So understanding these principles help you. Okay, I'm just receiving a feedback that only the one page is visible. Hope now it is visible. So I'm just proceeding with further. I assume that all the participants are having their the book of certified lean expert before you, so it becomes easy to follow you. Anyway, I just corrected this problem now. Okay. So now coming back to lean attitudes or what has been classified or the required attitudes of each and every Toyota employees. So this is extracted from the Toyota newsletter like Genchi Kimbutsu, Shitsujutsu, Goken, teamwork, humility, gratitude. All these things are captured as part of your the lean principles or the house of lean. And this is about the application of lean. Apply lean if you want to increase productivity efficiency. Basically about the speed and timeliness. If you want to increase or reduce lead time, cycle time, which in turn relate to the efficiency, operator utilization, resource utilization, then lean is the best tool to use it to start with. It also says that when the defects, when the solution is not complex, you know the solution is there, it can be easily discovered with little effort or by Kaizen, then go for lean. When the solutions are not clear, you don't know the source of variation, then you can go and adopt the methodologies of Six Sigma. These are the famous books that have been written on lean, a must read for any lean practitioner. The machine that changed the world, that brought about the concepts of lean to the world. And then the lean thinking, which talks about exhaustively about five principles of lean and the Toyota way, how Toyota evolved its lean, and the famous 14 management principles of lean. And this is the summary of this chapter. And there's a quiz section for you to answer. You can just go back after you have completed your reading. You can visit this quiz section and answer. Answer also provided at the end, and some of the references from where which this material have been sourced, or we give some references like fourth one, the Bob Emilianini, which talks about the lean behavior linking to the lean ways. You could have seen the pie chart. So further information, detailed information can be had and sourced from these references. And further quiz for better understanding of or grasping of the subject answer. Okay. Now I would invite the participants to have any queries. You can just post me the question on the chat. So this first chapter is basically about understanding lean and why lean and how it has evolved over a period of time. There is an interesting history which tells about how Toyota has been working towards lean, especially after 1944, after the Second World War, where Toyota had lot of challenges in order to fight against the big odds like Ford, General Motors, and many German automakers. At that time, they had a typical productivity issue. The Toyotas were almost, I would say, 1 by 10th in productivity compared to the German automakers, which was poor and damn poor. They had this challenge. They need to improve their productivity, and they don't have funds to finance themselves. The entire Japan has been in disaster after the Second World War, and they had a lot of challenges. So then the company had set a target. In 3 years, we are going to catch up with America. So America has been pioneering in lot of tools and techniques and many improvement ideas. They are way ahead in their continuous improvement path. Then they decided, let us visit some of the best American factories, try to grasp the knowledge and see how can we use the same techniques and improve further and better there. And thus evolved out the famous supermarket, which is called the Kanban in lean terminology. So the story begins there, and of course, in the 3 years, they definitely made change to the process, which can revolutionize that. But for a long time, since 1974-75, all the things that have been done in Toyota has been secret and not known to the people. Only after the 1974, that oil crisis across the globe, where all the companies have dipping fortunes. They did not make money, except Toyota, who made good fortunes in spite of all the setbacks. Then people start noticing Toyota, how such a small company can make profits. Even many Japanese companies did not make profit. Then time for other Japanese makers who want to look at Toyota, how they have done, and thus the spread of lean knowledge happened. Interestingly, Taichi Ono has tried many himself, which he has written in his book, in 60s and 70s, to spread people and tell about just-in-time improvement. Unfortunately or unfortunately, there are very few takers and they did not even understand it. People were stuck to the old concepts of batch processing, do big, make better margins, all those things. So, and then they found that the excellent concept of the lean, what they base is based upon elimination of waste, which is in turn the knowledge what Toyota evolved how to eliminate waste is based upon the concept that has been developed by various industrial engineers, which has been basis of industrial engineering, and lot of tools that have been pioneered by Americans. Hence, they learned the tool from Americans and implemented as they required for the process. In 1920s and 30s, when the famous Model T that has been produced at Ford, they used to have the changeover for almost 6 months. So they run for 6 months. If they want to change the model, they need to change up all the assembly line from end to end. The changeover time was almost 4 to 6 months. That was the struggle. Hence, they were very reluctant to change the models. Now the journey from 1920 to 70s, the changeover has been reduced from 6 months to 3 minutes. So quite a lot of innovation and thought process are gone behind in developing the techniques of SMED and changeovers. Hence, lot of stories are there with respect to how the lean have been evolved. They have taken a good amount of time, about 30 to 40 years, to firm up the knowledge. It is like building blocks. They built a block by block in order to create a TPS house. It is not built in a day. So hence the persistence of lean that takes the company through the lean process. Today we don't require 30 years, but at least a persistence of 4 to 5 years for a company and the stakeholders of the company is required in order to see that company get transformed to become one of the company of the sort of Toyota. Now, if for any companies that is very keen on going for lean implementation, there is an excellent guiding principles that is provided in Shingo, which awards many people, companies on the principles of lean. Shingo Prize is awarded. I think many of the topics here are very basic, but what is important here is to get to understand how these tools are evolved, how these tools are evolved rather than just a history. There is a lot of story behind how the book of lean thinking has been evolved and the writing of this book. These 10 principles, I would say, one of the golden principles which today also each and every total employees follow it diligently. This comparison is a wonderful comparison. Though the subject of this looks very simple, getting to understand each and everything is a detailed exercise that will definitely lead to you yourself becoming a more lean in the aspect of behavior, which in turn brings about the lenses of lean for you to identify, see, learning to see the ways in the process. So this is some of the gist of the history and evaluation of the process. Am I loud now? Okay. You are free to ask any questions if you have any. Many people ask me about the project selection. So let me start with the clarification on this deployment path. So when I give this template to them, say you can classify your deployment path, it will serve as a guideline for you. When the solutions are simple, but most people come and say me that I don't know the solution, but it is like this. The many lean tools or assessment tools, what we have, are simple tools to assess where do we stand, the current state assessment. Without that, this is not possible. Get to understand what are the current state things. Okay, I got a question now. Are there any techniques to bring about lean behavior in the group that are implementing lean? Yes, there are techniques. I would say more than the techniques. I would just like to visit this page, our lean behaviors page. The first lean talks about working in groups. So either you work a group and then if you're not ready to work in a group, then lean is very difficult to implement. The sharing and rewards recognition is for the group rather than for the individual. That is one of the basis fundamental of lean. So with that is the first culture or the technique. So we use the technique of Kaizen, involve the people in groups. It can be of 3 to 4 groups, so it becomes a collective decision of the people. So people don't own their success. They say it is the success of the team. That is one of the first technique. Hence, whatever activity need to be done, launch a Kaizen, 3-day event Kaizen, 4-day event or 5-day. It's in continuous. Based upon the deliverable, decide how many days you want to take up the Kaizen event. Kaizen event is the one of the fundamental in order to achieve lean behavior. Over period of time, practice of regular Kaizen, recognizing the group rather than the individual, that will create team bonding, and hence it will lead to successes and indirectly start imparting people with lean behaviors like trust on the people, on your team members, humility to the people, be gratitude to the people, and then sharing of the wisdom. All these things will automatically fall in place. So basis is ask them and train the people to work in groups. So recognize as a group, not as an individual. Hope I answered your question, I think, Deepa. And then share some thoughts over lean behavior from for more quality. This is from Surinder. Okay. Yes. Coming back to lean behavior, I have answered a little bit of that in the previous question also. So the basis of any lean behavior or technique to bring about good lean behaviors is we say the teamwork. So how to bring about lean behaviors is that accommodate things. For example, when we do a Kaizen event, there is a rule that none of the ideas or thought process should be criticized. Each and every person's idea should be recognized, noted on a post-it, and put up on your respective dashboard or performance board, wherever you want to analyze the data. Typically, we use an dashboards like fire storyboard, performance improvement storyboard, PDC storyboards, where we track the projects, or A3s. So when we do the collective idea generation process, generate the ideas, don't discard any ideas or useless. Don't be judgmental. You should be open and have gratitude to accept. Everybody is human, everybody tends to make mistakes. That is one of the first principles of any Kaizen event or working in a team. Then there is no blame game. Either we succeed or we fail. It is not about individual. It's in practice. Over period of practice, day in and day out, we get to master these techniques or it becomes part of our culture. Fortunately for Japanese, all these lean behaviors has been well imbibed in their culture itself. They need not be thought about it. It was a typical hierarchical culture. The boss says, people accept. People say, boss also accept there. They don't debate all those things. They keep, they share a lot of things. There is a platform for them to share over there. So it has become easy. So this concept of lean behavior, fat behavior has been decoded by many of the Westerners who went there to study how the lean works successfully in Japan. When in early 80s, many US tried to copy the tools and techniques of Japan, of Toyota, typically Toyota, all this Kanban, just-in-time process, and on all the factory with all the visual displays, but none of them were working because the vital link behind the working of these tools and techniques, the people. The undercurrent of the people engaged in the process, who owns this process as my nine, was missing. It was highly individualistic environment and culture in America, whereas it was teamwork in Japan. For further information about how this comparison about American and Japanese culture, you could refer to one of the works done by Gwendolyn Glassworth, who is a pioneer of visual factory or visual information. He has just revolutionized the factories and many manufacturing and service sectors with the visual factory concepts. She brought about the concept of visuality. So, which is the undercurrent of lean behavior? Make everything evident. If I do a mistake, say I have done a mistake. If I done good, let us celebrate. But everything in a team. In Japan, one of the instances I could recollect, when the work was going on, operator has discovered a defect, a problem, and pulled the hand on. The work was stopped, and immediately people came and rectified it. Then during the break team, this guy has been caught with the entire team members. They celebrated and they given handshake to the person, saying that they have discovered one more opportunity. By solving it, we'll go a mile ahead. So that is the difference between a lean behavior and typical thrashing that is done in the conventional many Indians. If you find it, say I have done a defect or a mistake, people just thrash us. So this is one of the simple basic things that will bring about what we say as lean behaviors. And we could relate to many of our moral stories also which we read in our child days. So I think I have addressed many of the basic issues. It is a lot more detailed subject with respect to lean behavior. It cannot be just explained in a day. By only practicing it, you can feel it and try to observe many of the concepts. We can say humility, but it's out of practice only, and really practicing it by heart, you will get to know or will feel the humility for others. And trust, whatever said and done, people end up doing micromanaging. Many bosses tend to want to know what you ought to do by minute. Unless other way of doing lean behavior is give a responsibility to them. He succeeds, I have succeeded. If he failed, I failed. Let me correct him where he has gone wrong. That is a typical lean manager. And of course, gratitude to the person, recognize his capabilities, ask him to build upon his capabilities, give him the wisdom. These are the lean behaviors. And of course, one of the basis is honesty. Honesty to your work, to your people, everything. That will bring about lot of things. Change in the behavior of the people. So there is a good amount of work done by Bob Emiliani on lean behavior and fat behavior. This data has been sourced from one of his articles. You can visit his website and have a lot of information on that one. To be more crisp, we would say just try to remember these 10 principles or lean attitudes as defined by Toyota. Customer first. For every process, we have to think customer first. Will it benefit him rather than for ourselves? Challenge. Meet challenge with courage and creativity. You see here, courage and creativity. So there is an free hand given by the management for people to explore things, analyze the situation, and come about with creative solutions to meet their challenges. It is rather than what they call as hand holding or just do it this way. They say that discover yourself, find out how do you want to come about a solution. A lean manager would say, I know the problem, but you are the guy who have been working on it one. You figure out your problem. If you are stuck anywhere, come to me. Let me help you through in refining your technique rather than giving the solution to it. Many managers don't have patience to allow the people to learn. Give them the space, time. We would have taken our time. Similarly, we need to give to the newcomers who want to learn things. The patience brings about lot of improvement or goals or achieving our goals in long term. Lean doesn't more is more focused on long term philosophy. You will work short term, bring about quick improvement by Kaizens, focusing on the long term. They don't mind losing money in short term, but they want things and resources to be built efficient such that they're capable of handling the process on the long term. And the famous principles of Genchi Gimbutsu, go to the Gemba, see there, solve the problem. Don't solve problems in boardroom. And then spend money wisely. Whatever the money you have for improvement projects or whatever thing, plan it, justify it, and then spend it. And sixth principle is teamwork. Either you work as a team or you are not there. Toyota awards people or many lean practicing companies award the team rather than the individual. If a team performs well, all the members in the teams are awarded and recognized. Ownership and responsibility. Give the responsibility and ownership to the particular team members, people over there. It is for them, it is their process. They will be there 24 bar 7 or 8 hours in a day, working out the process, seeing the process. Let them take the responsibility to change their workplace, make their workplace beautiful, beautiful to make the workplace for people to work. And humility and gratitude to the people around you, and then integrity. And of course, what unites them is we love our company. Toyota, one of the Toyota principle is we hire people for the lifetime rather than for a day or month. It is not like hire and fire. They want to mentor you and make you capable lean leader over a period of years. The typical training per calendar for a person to become a leader will be around 3 to 5 years. So these think in long term. If you want to truly deploy lean across nook and corner of your company or setup. Okay, and coming to pillars of lean. Share your thoughts over pillars of lean. When lean implementation is there, a minimum number of principles to be used, or it can be no principles. Okay, I'll take it up one by one. Pillars of lean, you could see the foundation, management, support. If the management has to make up his mind, I am there in order to achieve my goal of value to the customer rather than value for company. Once your customer is there, company is there. If customer is not there, company will not be there. Hence the focus on customer, that is at the top roof of the pillar or final goal. For that, the foundation is management, support for it, and a long-term philosophy. Management should think about something around 3 to 5 years of lean deployment across the company. You cannot change the behavior of person within a day or a month. We would have developed the habit for the from our childhood for 20 to 30 years. It requires lot of persistence from the company side in order to change the behavior of the person. Hence, we think about lean. It's not about changing process. It's about changing the people also, or aligning the people to the goal of the company. Hence, it takes long term, to implement things. So, like what considered as foundation is the lean thinking. Lean thinking, like 5 years, understanding the learning to see what are waste, what is not waste, and have a team equipped in order to deploy across lean across company for long term. Based upon this foundation, one of the first primary principle is respect to the people. We have it talked in our previous slides about humility and lean behavior. Many of things falls in this. Working as a team, develop team, build partners with stable relationship, trust, and coach on lean thinking. What one of the people development program as part of lean is you have to continuously train the people not only on tools and techniques, but also on team building exercise, coaching the people, mentoring the people, and then taking along the journey of lean. So this is people, and the pillar number two is continuous improvement. All your tools and techniques that help you to achieve the perfection, or what we generally called as just-in-time production system. Go and see for yourself, Kaizens, spread the knowledge across the companies. The 5 I question each and every problem 5 times, reduce waste. These are the tools and techniques you will learn in chapter 4 of this CLE material. Chapter 1 will cover this pillar of people and respect for people. And then what interlinks and facilitates pillar 1 and pillar 2 is the strong principles of 14 principles which has been of lean derived from Toyota. Long-term philosophy, flow, full level workload. Full level means we'll understand the future chapters. Produce what is required in right quantity and right quality. Stop and fix. If there is a problem, stop it, fix it, correct it, and then move ahead. And then master norm, standard work, visual controls, make your factory visual, make your problems evident to the people. So anybody who is on the shop floor, who has seen a problem, can help and contribute it. When you are putting my performance is bad on dashboard, so it grabs the attention of some senior person who will come to your rescue and help you. This I'm talking about a lean culture. What should be built? Use test technologies. Don't venture what you want to do. This applies to typical manufacturing rather than for R&D. It's exceptional. What they want to say by this is use a proven methodology, or at least the methodology or technology that can be workable rather than trying out a new one which you don't know, you're completely in the gray area. Develop exceptional people, respect to the people, respect for people, develop the exceptional people. These two complement each other. They have a roadmap for development of the people. Help partners to be lean, go and see consensus and action, learning, reflection, and kaizen. Reflection is one of the vital things, what they call as hansei in Japanese. When the people work in a team, it is very important for each and everyone to share their thoughts, views. So nobody keeps anything in the heart and the work behind. So everybody accepts the view, good, not good. Everybody is humble enough to accept their views. So correct themselves and change and evolve. So reflection about the process, work, anything. Reflection can be like end of the day, review of your work done and review of your individual behaviors, anything, it can be reflecting. And Kaizen, working in working in groups, change for good. What we call Kaizen event is working in a group of a complete focused way, team of either the department or the factory or whoever it is, as the need be, work together fully focused on solving the problem, leave alone all the regular work and solve a problem. And these are the practice what they usually look at. Plan long term, cross functional team. This will help to make the sharing of information efficient and in a lean way. Visual management, make everything visual. Create knowledge, a knowledge that can be easily transferable through visual medium or through training or all those things. Whatever you know, share it across. Mentor, manager, engineer, teacher. This is a cycle. The senior person will be mentor for the junior person, not the solution provider. They meant the people to become solution provider for their own process. And the combination of these three things will lead to sustainable, shortest lead time, best quality, and value to people and society. You can see here, it's not about just people. They talk about society. Society is in turn the people who are there are final customers. Most customer delight, lowest cost, highest morale, and CAFT. This is what the value usually the customer looks at. So this is about the deployment path, the house of lean, how the lean should be deployed across based upon this principles. Start with foundation, build these pillars, strengthen your principles of 14 principles until you attain this goal of value. This is about the pillar of lean. And then coming back to the next question. So number of principles to be used, or it can be one principle being used. There is no limitation to that. What principle to use? If you see, these principles are not, or it is a collection of symbols. As based upon the problem, we use these principles. Long-term philosophy is basis of any lean achievement. That is made as one of the principles. Flow, pull, perfection. Over period of evolution, I will start with the 5 principles of lean, which will be covered in the second chapter of CLE. With the 5 principles of lean are value, value stream, flow, pull, and perfection. That slide is not here, hence I am just mentioning it. So all these flow and pull will come in the second stage once you have established the basics, like establishing the fires, basics of visual, and then standardizing your process. Then you start improving your people, and then start implementing these tools and techniques. So there is no rule that, but the rule what it says, go in a sequence, like have a long-term philosophy and then start strengthening your lean principles and thinking, understand the lean thinking, impart the lean thinking to enter people in the your factory or office or setup. Let them understand how should I see the waste. That is what is here, learning to see, and then stop the problem, fix the problem, go for visual factory, and then build about the culture of mentor and mentee within the team building, build about exceptional people, and then problem solving approaches like go and fix the problem. These are the basis. Some of the things will be run parallelly, learned parallelly as part of foundation, and many tools are, once the foundation is built, then we go for many tools. So that's about the tools and techniques that need to be, or principles that need to be used. Hope I have answered your question. So we are left with some around 5 to 10 minutes of time. Yes, will the WebEx be for all the 6 chapters? Yes, but is it on the consecutive Saturdays or next Saturdays? It will be communicated my colleague Anita or email. So typically we'll plan it on Saturdays only. So based upon my availability, I will plan for it. I will ask Anita to publish the dates well ahead, so we can publish the dates for next 5 chapters also. We'll do it. I assume most of the people have gone through this material. So just give me a quick feedback where you find the information is good or where you find is lacking, where you want more information. It would be better to improve our material also. You can send it on mail to Anita also as a feedback for it. If you want to include some of the topics, improve on the topic, be more elaborate on the topic, we'll try to incorporate most of the things. We have designed this material to be more crisp, to give a brief knowledge. So once you are thorough with this, then you can go for in-depth understanding. So I think we have done with the session. Shall we close the session? I think we are running out of time also. If any queries are there, you can feel free to send it to our support@skillglobal.com. You will not wait for this webinar also. You can send across the questions to us. So thank you, friends. It has been very engaging. So you can feel free to contact me anytime. Send your questions across. As and when we progress for next chapters, as a preparation, you can send me many of the questions for next session, chapter 2, chapter 3. When you're going through it, you can send it across. So it becomes an easy sharing for other people also to learn about it. Thanks, Surinder. You can contact me at this now address. Send it the mails to support@skillglobal.com. So thank you very much. Thanks for your good participation. Lot of good questions have come up. So looking forward for such more sessions. Thanks everybody. Thanks Hemant. Thanks Deepa.